everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I wash doll laundry. This is actually a request that I got on my YouTube a little while ago, but I wasn't able to film it because I didn't have any dirty doll clothes to wash. But I just got back from the flea market and I have some doll clothes. Sadly, you're not going to see like a huge difference in terms of like how soiled these are, because most of these are like pretty nice Monster High clothes, but they smell a little bit weird, which is why I'm washing them. I actually wash probably 95% of my doll clothes. The only things that I don't wash are obviously things that I got brand new, things that were like boxed that don't smell weird, or American Girl items or vintage Barbie items that really don't need it because those things bleed. I have a tutorial on Flickr where I talk in like a really great detail about the sort of clothes that like you need to be careful with bleeding and whatnot. So if you want like really detailed info, I'll link that below. It's kind of out of date. Some of the products I use have changed a little bit, so that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today. So without further ado, so these are the supplies that you're going to need. You can wash your clothes in the washing machine. You can wash your clothes in a variety of different ways, but if you're someone like me that has a lot of trouble washing doll clothes and you've ruined a lot of things because I am guilty as charged, this works the best. It's very, very safe. There are very few items that I have a problem with. So I like to put them in this bucket. This is actually something I got at the flea market. I bought some holiday Barbies in it, but you can probably get something similar at Walmart or other stores like that, or you can just use a regular container. I like this because it has handles and it's neat. You could soak them in the sink if you wanted to, but I found that sometimes the drain would like leak out water, and if I needed to like wash dishes or something, I just thought it was really gross to have them hanging out. So I put them in this. Then we have Shout color catchers. This isn't sponsored, obviously. So I was honestly really skeptical at how these would work, but one of my sister's friends told her that this is what she used in her laundry, and they really do catch the colors. So I like to reuse them a few times. So you can see these ones are pretty grody. And over here you can actually see where some of the dye leaked. I use them until they like pretty much aren't white anymore. You can also use vinegar as a natural color catcher. That does work, but I like to just, you know, play it safe and use these, because that's the ultimate thing with certain types of clothes. The dyes will bleed. Then I have a cup of laundry detergent. I don't have the like bottle of it out because I actually make my own laundry detergent. And then I have this stain removal stuff, which I won't be using today because nothing has stains. But this OxiClean, or like anything on this idea, works great. It's made to take out like natural soils, so like say it's blood or urine or dirt, it reacts to those natural stains and removes them. I used to buy tablets. If you look on my Flickr, I have a picture of the tablets. The problem with that is you couldn't really measure out what you needed, and it was wasteful to use just one tablet for some small load. But basically it looks like this, and I just scoop out however much I feel I need. I kind of just eyeball it. So that's really all you need. So what I like to do is I like to put some color catchers in. I don't have much in here, and these are mostly newer Barbie clothes or Monster High. Those don't tend to bleed. Then I pour in my detergent. I think my sister gave me too much, so I'm not going to use all of that. So that's what it looks like now. This is the most #1 important step. Whatever you do, do not use hot water on your doll clothes. Hot water opens up the like fibers and causes it to bleed. It's sort of like if you color your hair. If you use hot water, it causes all of the dye to leak out because it opens up your hair cuticle. Same thing with fabric. That is the #1 reason why you'll have a problem with clothes bleeding. Sometimes they'll bleed anyways if they just get wet. That's why it's good to kind of practice, and sometimes you'll have to separate colors, typically only with American Girl and vintage Barbie things, basically stuff that's really high quality. So you want to use cold water, not warm, not hot, cold. If it's all whites and you're bleaching, it's fine to use hot. But if you're making a mixed batch, if there's colors, don't use hot water. I've learned my lesson. And if you're using a powder, this is the part where you want to make sure it's really dissolved, because sometimes those powders will float to the top. So this is what it looks like. A few inches there. I like to just make sure all the clothes are fully wet. So I'm going to go put this in my bathtub. Probably only need to soak for like an hour. They're not that that bad. They're not really dirty, they're just a little smelly. But sometimes you'll need to do this process a few different times. If I have things that are mold stained or smell like cat urine or something, I'll wash them twice and I'll let them soak, sometimes overnight. Just keep an eye on them if you're not sure. Check after the first 15 minutes if it's something like red or something really high quality that you're afraid is going to bleed, because usually you can get it out before it bleeds. So I'll be back when I go to hang these to dry to show you guys how I dry them. So my clothes have been soaking for probably 2 hours now. You can see that the water is actually kind of dirty, which is really surprising because these clothes didn't look or smell too bad. So I'm going to drain the water. And that's quite gross looking, that water actually. So then I'm just going to kind of put my little drain catcher in there and put everything in the sink. Then I'm going to rinse this out really fast. And it's important that whatever you wash your clothes in, it's like a washing machine. You want to clean it after you use it because it will start to smell kind of like funky, like wet clothes. So I always spray it down at the very end. I just take some all-purpose cleaner, spray it, wipe it, and it's all set. So I'm just going to take cold water and I'm just going to rinse each piece of clothing. If you're like me and your hands get cold really fast and it's like winter time, you can use like warm water, lukewarm water to rinse these clothes. It's not going to cause them to like bleed or anything just from making contact with the water for like, you know, a minute while you rinse. And then this is my my color catcher, which I actually caught some stains. Proof is in the pudding. And the reason why I like to have like a little drain catcher in there while I do this is just so that if there's something really small in there, like a sock or like a little arm wrap or something, case in point, there's one right there. And now all of my clothes have been rinsed out. So we're in my sister's room and this is where we hang the clothes to dry. This is our drying station. So you can see there are the clothes, there are the hangers and the clothespins. There's my sister. We're gonna take different like doll hangers and these clothespins I got at Walmart, and we're going to hang the clothes on those wire hangers. The doll hangers and the clothespins won't go around like a thick plastic hanger. That's why we have to use the wire ones. We probably won't even need to fill up those two. So the nice thing about clothespins is that they hold the clothes onto the hanger really securely, especially little things like socks and whatnot, and you can use the top of the hanger to secure clothes, but you can't get as much space out of these because they take up more room on the hanger. The nice thing about these guys is you can get all sorts of different sizes, big ones, vintage ones. All of my hangers are working hangers. Little ones that have like the snap so you can hang pants.
I like to slide these armbands on this so it holds it nice and secure.
There's like these ones that have like the little clip, little teeny tiny ones which are good for Kelly clothes. So we're just gonna hang these and you guys can watch.
Another thing I love about the hangers is that you can kind of like move them along the rack really fast, whereas the clothespins once it's there it's kind of a pain to move.
But it does, if you need to like distribute the weight evenly, it can pin things to the center. That's usually what I do. And if I'm hanging a lot of doll laundry, like a ton, I will actually like organize it. I'll have like a hanger for dresses and a hanger just for, say, pants or skirts. And if you notice you didn't rinse something right, you can always just set it aside and rinse it again at the end. Or say you noticed something dirty and you didn't realize that it didn't clean when you were rinsing it, wash it again. And once the clothes are all hung up, usually what I would do is I'd take a fan and I just put it right on in front of these clothes so it was blowing directly on them to help them dry faster. But since the dolls who are going to be wearing these haven't been cleaned yet, and we're just going to let these drip dry. And that'll take longer, but we don't need them right away. That's the thing. You can use the dryer, but the reason why I don't use it is because what will happen is, say for instance, you washed something and it bled, and you didn't bother to check like the little like pillowcase or garment bag that it was in. Well, what happens is when you throw something in the hot dryer, it will actually bake the stain into the outfit. And I have a horror story, so if you've ever ruined doll clothes, don't feel bad. I wanted to clean all of these not really dirty Bratz clothes, so I threw them all into like a few pillowcases because I have a ton of Bratz clothes. I threw them in the washing machine, and then after they washed, I didn't even bother to check and make sure everything was okay because I had pretty good luck with this method the first few times I did it. I threw them in the dryer, and then, oh, my Bratz clothes are done, the cycle's over. I dumped them out onto the dining room table, and they were all, like, the jeans had bled blue dye.
Through the pillowcase.
Through the pillowcase. The pillowcase actually is still stained. It was awful. I was crying because I love my Bratz dolls. I worked really hard to get a lot of clothes for them. Basically, I had to use a bunch of stain removal tablets to try to get the dye stains out, and that's the nice thing about the OxiClean I showed you in the beginning. If something bleeds, and it kind of bleeds onto itself or bleeds onto something else, if you put them back in like OxiClean, it will actually take out a lot of the dye stains. Don't feel bad if you've ruined doll clothes because I've done it all. I've bleached things that shouldn't have been bleached. I've thrown things in the dryer and not checked. Icing on top of the cake was when our cat peed in our doll clothes, which were kept in shoe boxes as kids, and I dumped all the clothes into the washing machine when they were like just freestyling in the washing machine. And then we threw them in the dryer, and when they all came out, they were all stuck on each other, wadded.
And some of them got stuck in the thing that catches the lint.
Yeah, the lint tray. And they were melted. A lot of our clothes got ruined. A lot of like brand new looking clothes that had just gotten peed on were ruined.
I'm still trying to replace my Ken pants.
Yes, so moral of the story, I don't personally like the washing machine and the dryer. I personally...
We've had way fewer incidents with this, and we've been doing this technique since, what year did we start?
2013, when I ruined Bratz clothes.
So yeah, we've been doing this hand washing method since 2013, and we've had very few incidences, and all of them have been completely reversible.
And we've done American Girl clothes, we've done really old vintage Barbie clothes, we've done Bratz clothes, and those are the big three that bleed. We've done Barbie clothes, Monster High heels. We wash like everything now just because we can get away with it. And the moral of the story is, you know, take it slow and use cold water, and make sure you like separate colors if they're going to bleed. Use color catchers, use vinegar, and vinegar also helps eliminate cat urine, the smell of that, because that smell lingers. So try that out if you're having trouble getting rid of that smell.
I have one bit of advice about what I did that was the stupidest. We had a Josephina heirloom accessories shawl in with all our other American Girl clothes from childhood. It bled dye. Well, Samantha's white birthday pinafore got the worst of the staining, and I put pure undiluted washing soda in the sink. I didn't stir it up enough. What it did is it got the pinafore to stick in the drain.
Yeah.
What it ended up doing is it got the pinafore so stuck to the sink that when I pulled it up in my haste to get it up, I actually tore a piece of Sam's pinafore. And the worst part about it all is it was for nothing, because we ended up later buying that RIT dye remover to actually get the stain out. The moral of this story is I don't recommend leaving pure washing soda in the sink. Peroxide and washing soda was a method I read about online.
I hope this video helped you guys out, and let me know if this works out for you guys. And until next time, if you have any more requests for tutorials, I'd be happy to do them.